All right, let's talk about one of the most frustrating things in business studies, losing marks on analysis questions when you know the answer. If that's you, then stick around because we're gonna fix it.
Does this look familiar? Yeah, it's that sinking feeling when the answer you felt so good about comes back with barely any marks. You laid out all the facts, but it just wasn't enough. It's a super common trap, and today we're climbing out of it for good.
So what's actually going on here? Well, we call it the grade C trap. It's where your answers look right, they feel right, but they're missing that one key ingredient that separates a simple pass from the top grades. Now, as we dive into this, I want you to be really honest with yourself. Ask yourself if this sounds like you in an exam, because spotting the habit is always the first step to breaking it.
Okay, so let's get right to it. Why are those marks disappearing? Well, it almost always boils down to two simple mistakes that are just incredibly easy to make when you're under pressure.
And here they are, the two main culprits. On the left, you've got the definition trap. This is where you basically just turn into a walking dictionary. And on the right, my personal favorite, the unfinished sentence. You make a perfectly good point and then just stop, leaving the examiner hanging.
And that's the key right there. You have to imagine the examiner reading your answer, and for both of those mistakes, the same exact question pops into their head. And so what? They're just sitting there waiting for you to tell them why any of this actually matters.
So here's the fundamental problem. Your job in an analysis question isn't to prove you memorized a definition. It's to show you understand the real-world consequences, the impact that concept has on a business.
But here's the good news. There is a super simple, really powerful way to fix this. We call it the full marks formula, and trust me, it is a total game changer. And this is it. It's a simple three-step chain of reasoning. First, you make your point. Super simple. Second, you link it to what happens next. And third, and this is the part almost everyone forgets, you connect it all to the final business impact. That last step is where all the top marks are hiding. All right, theory's great, but let's see how this actually works with a real exam question. We're going to take a look at a weak answer and then completely transform it into a full marks response using this formula. Okay, here's a classic question. The key command word is explain. And crucially, it's about the advantage to a business. That second part is what really matters here. And here it is, the classic trap answer. Look, this student knows that Kaizen is part of lean production, so they define it. It's factually correct, sure, but it totally misses the point of the question. It explains the term, not the advantage. That's getting you 0 marks for analysis. Now, let's build it back up with our formula. Ready? The point is that lean production reduces waste. The link is that lower waste means lower production costs. And the business impact? Lower costs lead to higher profit margins. You see that chain? It's logical, it's complete, and it directly answers the question. That is a full mark answer. Let's run through it one more time just to make sure it really sticks. This is a different topic, but it's testing the exact same skill. The keyword here is analyze the impact. Now look how clean and efficient this answer is. It completely skips defining what a competitor is and jumps straight into the analysis. A new competitor might lead to lower prices, which reduces profit margins. Point, link, business impact. It's concise, it's analytical, and it's absolutely packed with value. And if you take one thing away, let it be this. Seriously, stop trying to teach the examiner definitions. They know them. They probably wrote the textbook. They don't need a lesson. They need to see that you can actually apply the concept. Okay, so as we wrap this up, let's just boil everything we've talked about down to one single core idea that you need to tattoo on your brain before your next exam. It's really this simple. When it comes to analysis, business impact is king. Every single point you make, every chain you build, has to link back to a real, tangible effect on the business. And if you're ever stuck in an exam, just use this as a mental checklist. Ask yourself, how does my point affect the company's profit, its costs, its competitiveness, or even its ability to survive? If you can answer one of those, you are on the right track. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. The next time you're doing a practice paper, don't just ask if your answer is correct. Ask yourself, am I truly finishing the sentence? Am I following that chain all the way to the end? Because that right there is the difference between a good grade and a great one.